Ancestral ghost. I have an older brother who is 4 years older than me, and this is his story. When my brother was in his first year of high school, he suddenly started saying that he was experiencing sleep paralysis in the middle of the night, hearing moaning voices, and seeing ghosts like fallen samurai in his dreams. At first, my family didn't take him seriously at all, but he eventually fell ill, so we took him to see a doctor in the neighborhood. The doctor diagnosed him with appendicitis, and he had to undergo surgery immediately. My brother's surgery went smoothly, and he was expected to be discharged in a week, but for some reason, the wound became infected and wouldn't heal properly. His hospitalization was extended to 2 weeks, and by the 3rd week, the hospital told us, "We can't handle this," so he was transferred to a national hospital. He underwent another surgery immediately. It was a major operation that lasted 10 hours. Part of his intestine had become necrotic, and my brother was reportedly in critical condition for a time. My father was told by the doctor, "If he doesn't regain consciousness, you'll have to accept it." At that time, my mother was probably very worried about my brother. There was a leader of a certain religion in the neighborhood, and since I was a member at the time, I asked him to pray for my brother's recovery. Incidentally, I am no longer a member. In the end, my brother recovered and was discharged from the hospital after a month, but at the time, my mother told me this story. According to the religious teacher who prayed for my brother, the spirit of a samurai with ties to my father's ancestors had possessed my brother and was tormenting him. Cases like this are not uncommon, and usually affect the weakest member of the family. In our case, it happened to be my brother. The teacher said that everything would be fine now that he had been properly persuaded. I thought it was a cliché and too good to be true, but my brother's illness had indeed been cured, so I accepted it without question. However, around that time, my brother's personality changed. My brother, who had been kind and gentle, became aggressive and vindictive, always angry. My brother often picked on me and bullied me at every opportunity. At the time, my brother was being severely bullied at high school, and I think his stress was directed at me. By the way, the guy who bullied my brother continued to target him relentlessly even after entering university, eventually forcing him to drop out, a real scumbag. Even after the bullying was somewhat calmed down with the help of our parents and teachers, my brother's personality never returned to normal. In any case, my brother hasn't had much luck since then. After graduating from high school, I got a job, but quit because of interpersonal relationships at work. This happened several times. Furthermore, my brother became involved in a pseudo-religion, which caused relationships with my family to deteriorate, and my personality became increasingly aggressive and distorted. I refused to listen to anyone, did not accept kindness as kindness, and took advice as an attack against myself, becoming fiercely critical of everyone. In the end, he left home in a manner similar to being disowned and started living alone in an apartment, but nothing went as planned, and he apparently became a recluse. The apartment manager contacted my father, who went to pick up my brother. My brother was in a state of semi-neurosis and apparently refused to come out of the closet. Even after returning home, he immediately fled to the attic and refused to come down. We considered having him examined by a psychiatrist, but my brother stubbornly refused. When the whole family was at a loss, a relative introduced us to a therapist who worked as a volunteer. He practices in a rural mountain area, but he is not a doctor. He listens to the patient's story, gives massages and acupuncture. I don't know much about that, but he prescribes herbal medicine tailored to the individual. He only accepted a small amount of money as a token of appreciation, so he was quite popular in the local community. After going there, my brother's condition calmed down a little. Around that time, my mother told me in detail about what she had heard from the priest who had prayed for my brother when he was seriously ill. My father's ancestors were once a very powerful samurai family. However, at some point in the past, They committed a major blunder that could have led to the extinction of the family. What did the ancestor do at that time? He implicated one of his retainers in the karma, and forced him to take all the blame, leading to his seppuku. Instead of having him commit seppuku in his place, he promised to raise his young son and let him inherit the family estate when he grew up, thereby ensuring the family's survival. But the ancestor broke his promise. Not only that, he killed the young son and wife, as well as the entire family, and took all of their property for himself. What a terrible story. It was the spirit of the retainer that possessed my brother. He said, "I will never forgive you. I hate you. I will make you suffer the same pain I did. I will make you commit seppuku. And then I will kill you." That's what he said. The person who prayed for him said something like, "He's already had 2 stomach operations, so please forgive him this time," and persuaded him to give up. The reason why this story came up now is because of something the alternative medicine practitioner who treated my brother said during the consultation. The practitioner placed his hand on my brother's stomach scar and said, "There's a small, hardened lump deep inside here," repeating, "I hate you, I hate you. I won't forgive you, I won't forgive you." Because of that, the channel through which people convey kindness and warmth to others, and through which they themselves convey kindness, has become so narrow that it is almost imperceptible. You must have been treated badly by someone in the past. But isn't it time to forgive them? I said to my brother. My brother was surprised and asked, "Does that have anything to do with the curse of our ancestors?" The teacher replied, "I'm not a priest, so I don't know about curses or ghosts. But if you can't forgive people, your heart will remain in pain forever." My brother's response was, "I can never forgive what was done to me. As long as that person is alive, I will hate them for the rest of my life." There's no particular punchline to this story. My brother's aggressive personality remains unchanged. I keep my distance from my brother, so we don't really talk much. Including my brother, the few men in our family who are supposed to carry on the family name don't seem likely to get married. It feels like the family is slowly fading away. Well, I suppose that's just the natural course of things, but I wonder what will happen to the management of the ancestral graves. That concludes this story. Thank you for listening to the end.